line cook at Stowaway Kitchen in Denver, Colorado. Maxwell, thanks for taking some time, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk. And even when we were talking just background a little bit, I was like, what's your official title? And you're like, first you said, just a cook. And I was like, what do you mean just a cook, man? Cooks are the backbone of this industry. You are a line cook, and you should have a shirt that fucking says it, man. Like, I'm the most proud of line cooks because you are in the trenches, like making shit actually happen. So don't ever say you're just a cook, my friend.
Yeah, appreciate that. It's right up there with the dishwashers. It's like if we're the backbone on the line, you need the dishwashers to be crushing it. So
they're the lifeblood. The most important person in the restaurant is the dishwasher.
Fuck yeah.
No doubt about that. All right. So take us back 3 weeks ago when shit was hitting the fan. It was clear things were going down. What were the conversations like at Stowaway Kitchen with Amy, the chef, the ownership, the leadership, about what was going to happen, what your pivot was, and how it was going to affect you personally?
Yeah. I think we all felt it that first, was it Friday after the national emergency was put into effect?
Yeah.
I work burger nights with Carl from Owlbear Barbecue on Saturdays. So it's like, well, if that's busy, then maybe it's not going to be too crazy because Friday was ghost town. I think we all in the restaurants just noticed like, ooh, it just slowed down.
Big.
What's going on? Saturday was like the first 60-degree day. So things are a little bit busier for us. At Owlbear, I think they set a record that day. And then we sold a shitload of burgers. So it just got to this moment of like, okay, maybe, like I know it's coming this way. One of my roommates is working for the virus response team with DaVita. So it's like we kept hearing some things that might come. And then was that Monday, right before St. Patty's Day, I'm like, this is going to be a shit show if we're not supposed to close down bars and whatnot.
Yeah.
And they just did that shutdown. They're like, was at Hancock's like, I'm going to follow the other mayors and governors around the nation and be like, we can't do this, especially if we know Denver, it was going to be just a wild party on Tuesday. So it's like, let's just stop that now. And yeah, we're going to put the 8 weeks in effect. So I think what happened at Stowaway, like that day, we're like, we're going to have a meeting now. Everyone came in, we talked about we should just start filing for unemployment. And for all the full-timers, especially in the kitchen, with 3 of us now, it's like, you're going to still work, but it's going to be limited hours, probably 2 days a week, which is what we're at right now. And, we're going to start with doing the, people come in and do to-go orders, us just being even more using sanitation in a almost more OCD effect than we already do as cooks.
Yeah.
And then it moved into, okay, don't even let people in. We're just going to open this door, put everyone, move the table outside and just have completely contactless, no one coming in so that we're keeping ourselves safe and we're keeping all of our wonderful regulars and guests safe.
Yeah, now thinking back, I remember actually you were one of the people that messaged me that the shutdown officially is coming, and I think that was via your roommate kind of just being on the response side of what was happening with all that. So I recall that now that you said that, and it made a ton of sense, and I was very interested in the timing of that because it felt like there's a little bit of dragging of feet, and then to your point, it's like you're going to create the worst possible situation if people are allowed to party on St. Patrick's Day, and Denver's a big city for St. Patrick's Day, and hearing the parade was getting shut down was actually one of the first big moments where I was like, this is really going to hit Denver hard, because I remember just the chatter around a lot of the downtown corridor, or like somebody messaged me from like Scruffy's or something that was a very specifically Irish pub saying our Super Bowl is over because they shut that down. So a couple things with what you guys did specifically at Stowaway. So right away, the conversation came from ownership, leadership about the whole team getting on unemployment as quickly as possible. Is that correct?
Yeah. So for those that aren't familiar with Stowaway, Hayden and Amy are the owners. Hayden works that is like, the coffee bar and, our beverage section. And then Amy's running the food in the back. And they work the 6 days that we're open. They are there those 6 days. They're getting it done. They're making sure everything comes together. So with the slowdown that happened during that St. Patrick's Day weekend, it afforded them the opportunity to like realize like, okay, we're gonna sit down and like figure out what we can do. Like as much information as they can find out, hear the rumors from like what I'm being told by someone in the healthcare that's in my house, or like from other people like food service professionals. Like, yeah, I'm also hearing this too. We might have to do like we're gonna have to figure something out. So they game planned a number of things. We started setting up conversations with Confluence couriers so we could have a delivery service that's also helping, a small business. I know that's everyone's been saying go help small businesses, and I totally agree with that. It was like let's like try and pool as many resources as we can there. And Hayden's a big biker, so I think he went that way to help out those guys that all of a sudden lose like 50% of their business. And then we had just like a meeting of like, okay, is everyone good? If you're not good, like talk to us. We set up the like PayPal account so you can, put money in there, since all of our front of house people are basically unemployed, like just went from getting money every week to nothing. So we pooled all our tips and like whatever your hours are in a week, we just kind of everyone is getting paid towards that, which is fucking awesome. We're using the not only PayPal account, but what tips we keep getting to get you the money that you should be getting, which, I didn't really ask for. And I'm one of the people that's fortunate enough that I didn't really need it because I had a compost job on the side with scraps. And it just, for all of us, we just kind of like came together as a family, which is what I love about small restaurants, is you just like, okay, you're good, cool. Does anyone need groceries? We got a bunch of stuff in the back. This is gonna spoil. You can take it. You can pay for this, and it'll be a nice discount. So it was just, it was one of these moments where you know that it's gonna get shitty, but we all, because we're used to organized chaos, we're like, cool, let's. I guess we're all ready. We got what we need. Like, if anyone needs to, like, I know someone that works at a dispensary. Like, he can bring this stuff over to you and just deliver it. Like, if you know who's got this guy, who's got that guy. Does anyone need booze? Like, we've got too much cider at our house. It was really good, like team planning.
Oh man, I love it. We're gonna hang out and hover in what we're talking about right now because it's one of the most important things in being a human and being in the hospitality industry, getting taken care of by other humans. So here's a couple things I love about what you're saying. One is, I've been talking about this a lot. In the industry, we kind of like bad news. We're so used to it. Like, we got to turn this table, this ticket's long, what happened with this order? Like, all of that kind of stuff. And we just figure shit out. And that's very much what you guys are doing. It's very much like, let's MacGyver some stuff together. Let's figure it out. Let's put some duct tape on it and just make it work for each other. And I really, I just love that mentality. So it's clear that you guys banded together in kind of that meaningful way. What we don't like is no news. No news, silence. When the kitchen gets quiet, it's in trouble.
Oh yeah.
Right? It's the eye of the storm type of thing. And so that's what I've been hearing a lot is there was just radio silence. There was no communication. We don't know what's happening with unemployment. We don't know what's happening with the CARES Act. We don't know what's happening with our own restaurant. Everywhere that there's the biggest strife for humans in hospitality, it's always because there's no information.
Yeah.
We'll bitch about the fact that something sucks, and then the next moment we'll just figure it out and get over it. So talk about that more as far as how you guys banded together, because I really appreciate it. And people need to hear it, how important it is to just give a shit about somebody else.
I think like one of the, like you just kind of like commented on just this like idea of the first 2 weeks for sure, I fucking loved, because I'm like, oh, this is just madness. But you're like watching everyone in Denver freak out. Like the whole like toilet paper, paper towel, all the cleaning products shortage. Everyone's losing their fucking mind. They're buying all the bread, all these eggs, probably all the pancake mixes and shit. Like you just need flour. Like you just need like a little sugar, some eggs, like all it is flour and water for most things. Then like you'll be fine. It's like, oh, you got eggs? You're even better. So there's just like this moment where I think a lot of us like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And like we have this moment of like, oh yeah, we do this all the time. It's like you have to deal with this like, oh look, we someone showed up late, or like, you know, whether it be a delivery or someone like comes in this way. I mean, line cooks. Someone's gonna be fucking hungover, someone's gonna be fucking high, someone's gonna be late, or like, you know, just not, and maybe they're brand new, they're the fucking new guy. You're gonna have to deal with elements no matter what kitchen you've been in. For my 10 years out here, I've run into it all, the best and the worst. And you just have this moment where you're like, I just gotta fucking deal with it. And that's what I think we all love about it's slow, it's slow. I don't even want to like plate this, or like I gotta clean this. And suddenly a rush comes and you just like, let's do this. And just like everything's suddenly like organized perfectly. You've got fire going, you've got things cranking up a little bit more so you can like get the pace going. Switching out your like sandy buckets, you got new fresh gloves on, fucking box right in front of you, and you just got, all right, we're dialed in, let's do this. That's my coffee. Like I work in a place where there's beautiful coffee, but like you have 1 or 2 cups and like that's not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for, like, oh, we got 10 to go orders, or we're doing 35 for the healthcare people that are fucking keeping us propped up in Denver. Fuck yeah. Like I was just like, ooh. Or was it 2 Mondays ago? I was just having a blast. Like we don't have enough room for these to-go boxes. But
let's go, man.
Like, let's get a sheet tray out, put them on there. We'll just move this around. We'll have the front of house, put together some, you know, like some salads, like make little aluminum boats that fit like the chicken in there too that we're doing. Because we're adapting, we're changing our menu, something that's easy. Hours are like we open a little bit later. We stay open a little bit later so that Amy can do like bento boxes for dinner. But otherwise, the normal menu items, like we only do that for, was that 10 to 2? So it's been a ride for sure. I've loved every experience about it, where we just, you know, we talk to each other of like, do you guys like you're asking before, like, do you all need anything? Like, what is it that we can do to like assist each other? And it just, you know, we all kept in talks for the first week, probably week and a half, and just like, did you just see someone drop $500 into the PayPal? Or like $200, or this person put $8 in, who like doesn't even know us, just heard that small businesses needed help, so they just like dropped in like basically what it is for a sandwich or a coffee and a pastry item. Which just seeing that, not just for us but all around, made me want to like get everybody out and be like, hey, if you are going to be home and cooking for yourself for a while, there's this company I work for called Scraps that needs business now that all the restaurants are shutting down. And then you've got, was it just like the local places that there's construction on our road, like Curtis Park Deli, fucking love their sandwiches, but they've already had to deal with nonstop construction in that area because 5 Points is now Rhino, and it's that bougie ass bullshit. That like, because people want to move there all of a sudden, like 10 years ago, I lived there, loved it, but I'm just like, you all wouldn't have wanted to live here 10 years ago. But you know, that's the changing, growing city. And so like I go there to Curtis Park Deli and like get a few sandwiches and like, here's $15. I don't know if I can afford to give you that as a tip, but not gonna stop doing it because you got to just push the love out there, because we're all in it together. And that's the greatest thing that I've seen, like whether it be Facebook pages where it's like the whole nation, or just Denver, and like friends of friends that have like brought me into like, what are we doing as food service people? Like, you are always on this go, go, go. If you're 5 minutes early, you're 10 minutes late, like kind of mentality. So if you're not ready to just fucking jump in and get it done, like, you're going to be behind a lot of, like, almost every time, almost every restaurant that I've worked at. And now we're at this point of like, so like, I guess we cleaned the house for the 4th time in 2 days. You know what? Let's open up that second bottle of whiskey that we were supposed to like save for 2 days later for the weekend. Oh, that's all gone in 3 days. Huh. All right. I guess we'll cook this food. Already cooked everything. I've looked in the fridge. Like, the fridge is behind me. This is my new best friend. I'm just like,
oh yeah.
What else is in there? Got to make sure we have everything, right? Well, yeah. Now the COVID 50 is what we were calling it. Like, everyone's gonna come out in 8 weeks and just be like, "What is this in front of me?" It's like,
Have you been organizing your pantry? Have you been putting things into smaller containers to make sure you consolidate, labels out, all that kind of stuff all of a sudden?
I wouldn't say
not yet. Not yet. Soon though. It's coming. It's coming where all of a sudden you're going to try and start consolidating delis and things like that.
No, the consolidation is definitely happening. The putting labels on things, I'm like, no, that's like too much. I do have, like, expo markers real close where I can just like, yeah, so that's what that is. Or I started this at change this water in the pot at 12 p.m. just to remind myself I don't need to like do anything else to it for like neti pot use, or like I'm cooling down this soup at 12:31, like I wrote on the my counter the other day. It's like, oh shit, it's 3 o'clock. Gotta get in the fridge.
You're gonna start blue tape with Sharpie and put dates on everything and properly labeled.
Nobody just has blue tape around their house,
Line cooks do. That's who does. Maxwell, I got to tell you, man, and I love the shirt. I saw it. Make sure you get that shirt up there. Make kindness the norm. That's what's up. The energy, the intensity, I love all of it, man. That's exactly what we need. And it's funny how so much of it is polarizing, simultaneously being scared shitless and motivated as hell.
Yeah.
It's just kind of the way of things right now, and especially in the industry. Again, like, if we have to figure shit out, we love it. We love it. It's just in our DNA, for better or worse. Sometimes that's a slippery slope, but that's like what's really important about this moment. So I really appreciate everything that you're talking about. And this energy that you have is exactly why I wanted you on. And so let's talk about right now, because you talked about the first 2 weeks, and I think it's something's new and fresh and exciting in this really kind of dark way. Yet now it's kind of like, so what does happen next? Now there's a little bit of the energy is sucked out of the room, because now it's like, well, okay, cool. It was like something we had to figure out, and it was a struggle and a challenge, and it's hurting us, but also it's keeping us somewhat stimulated in this weird way. Now you're starting to, and you hear people say shit like the new normal. Like, what does that mean? Yet now we're trying to figure out what we do as this becomes a longer and longer circumstance for us. So talk about that for you currently, you personally today. What's happening with you right now?
The initial, I think when people were asking me at Stowaway, whether it be like Chef Amy or just any of the friends and people that I've met through restaurants, or like Scraps, one of the contractors that helped me bike compost from place to place, from restaurant to like the main dumpster, was also in restaurants. So we're just like connecting with each other, like, well, I think I'm going to do this, going to do that. And I think we all saw what social media was telling us to do. Like, you're going to improve yourself. You're going to do this. Like, some people like, we're going to get drunk for a while. There's like the two extremes.
Yeah.
But for me, one of my side hustles was a yoga instructor for a while. I was trying to get back into that so that restaurant people weren't just like partying on a Tuesday or Thursday to get ready for like to get over work, or I guess ready for work, do a tune-up shot and a beer before you go in, or get high before. Like, instead, come to yoga, man. like chill out a bit before your shift. Like we got to take care of ourselves because the first 2 weeks, whatever plan I had just became fucking resting.
Yeah.
We are grinding constantly. My way of getting over the grind is biking until my legs scream at me. Oh, am I done that? Well, let's do some like rock climbing. Like, don't have time for that. Let's do some fucking yoga. Let's lift some weights. Let's just be a nutcase trying to overwork the body. Or, you find yourself, I don't know. I've found myself at a bar plenty of times or gotten super stoned on like 100 milligrams of edible. So it's like,
Yeah.
you gotta
Oh.
find some like way of just relaxing. And I think that first 2 weeks is like, I don't have any commitments. I'm just gonna do whatever I want for 5 days and then come in to help out at Stowaway for 2 days. And that was awesome. I think this last week it hit as you're saying like what's going on. Like this is week 3.
Yeah.
5 more. And I think this is the turn where at first it hit me, and it was right when the air quality got shitty as well, where I'm like, not only that, but I'm asthmatic, so all of a sudden like my lungs started getting tight. I'm like, this is week 3. Now I feel like I'm paranoid from sickness. What just happened? And it was like that changeover, like, oh, now it's time to dive into all the things I thought I might do. I've got a sourdough starter that I've been feeding religiously, but not actually using it. Besides pancakes, and we used my sous vide for like the 3rd time on Friday to make smoked chicken wings. Like start that off and then finish it there. It's like this is fucking awesome. I forgot I have an induction burner. I mean, we use that all the time here, but like a sous vide. We've got an Instapot now, which I don't use, but it's fucking dope.
Yep.
So it's like we have so many cooking apparatuses. I've got another line cook that lives here. I've got someone that just made a whole roast yesterday that was fucking amazing. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna be good. We're cohabiting. We're figuring things out. I'm helping with we all pool our resources together and make an awesome meal. Or it's like, hey, have you ever thought about doing that? Have you ever thought about doing that? I'm one of the lucky ones to live with not only one other person, but 4 other people, which I feel like could be there's going to be some trials, obviously, for all of us. But at the same time, like you get to check in with someone new all the time, and it's like it's not like we have to have the mask on or anything for us because like one of us gets it, we're all done. We all got it. And so it's just this moment where you just kind of like look around like, hey, what are you reading? What are you doing? And like I had to get off social media as much as I could and just play like whether it be video games or there's an app called Webtoon that has I fell into about 3 or 4 months ago. That's absolutely amazing. It's just got some awesome like comics. Basically like graphic novels just on your phone or computer. A lot of like original content because one of the greatest things that I've found and I think it's been shared around the internet is like we all need to realize we just turn towards art as our bastion of hope during this time. Just like, okay, we're gonna read, we're gonna like do Netflix and try and chill. Or whatever streaming platform you're using. I crushed Picard, the new like on CBS, new like Star Trek fucking series, and was like, this is awesome. Like connecting with people that I haven't seen in a while or like heard from in a while. We're just like going back and forth, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's also a pandemic going on, but we're just like, did you see Patrick Stewart's back? And it's like it's been a wild ride. We all have our ups and downs, but it's just for me, I think this is probably too much fun. Just because
I can tell.
like you just have this moment of like I'm in the shit now, exactly where I've been like used to being for so many years, and like yeah, okay, what are we gonna do next? Like, what do we use with this like uncertainty? Um, and as long as you embrace that, uh, get outside every once in a while, take care of yourself and your friends and family, whether it just be checking in on them, or like, hey, I saw your picture that you posted about cooking this meal. Have you thought about doing this with it or something like that? Like just like giving like advice or like I don't know, just like helping people out and just connecting, including with yourself, which is one that I focused on as much as I could the first week because I knew that's what everything was going to happen. Like you get enough stimulation and like someone tells you they're doing this and you try and run full speed at that and you're like, something doesn't feel right. And it's like, you got to stop, breathe, and come inside. But that's definitely the yoga instructor and me coming
Yeah.
out.
Man, I love everything that you're saying. I especially love and was super interested in the yoga part. And then the very next thing that you said too about 100 milligrams of edibles. Here's an interesting thing because this is something that I've tried to navigate for myself. And I joke about this all the time. And nobody believes that I'm on a meditation app because they're like, you're way too go, go, go to slow down for even 8 minutes or
Yeah.
like the healthy things that I've been doing. But the idea of healthy or even I don't really drink anymore and I'm not sober, but I don't really drink anymore. It's just not my thing anymore. And so it's interesting because it always feels we are very all or nothing in this industry. It's
Oh
very
yeah.
much in our character strengths and flaws is our all in commitment to something. And so to say, hey, we need to think about balancing ourselves out. We don't really understand balance that well. And when you say healthy, you're like, man, that's just not my shit. Like I don't want to sit there and eat salads and not drink and yerba mate tea and kombucha and like whatever. Like it's just all of a
Yeah.
sudden we think that that's a completely different lifestyle. The fact that you're like, look, I'm just navigating myself. And if that means I gotta ride my bike until my legs scream at me and then drink too much whiskey, I'm going to find my own path through it, but it has to be from a balanced standpoint. And it's something I've talked about a little bit and I'm going to talk about a lot more. I'm even thinking about starting a separate, nobody's watching, so just between you and me, we're going to brainstorm. I want to start a separate channel or like episodes within this called HIGH, Hospitality Industry Good and Healthy. And take the word high and turn it into something that we own in a very different way to just talk about all those things. Like this week, what is it? What I don't even know what day it is. I think tomorrow I'm going to have on the crew from the Storm Cellar winery out in Hotchkiss, Colorado, and we're going to taste some wine. They sent me a bottle of wine, and I'm going to drink a wine, and then at the same time be talking about how I'm trying to also live healthy. And I think those things can coexist. It's just we struggle with being all in or all out. And so some last thoughts on that, because I really like where your head's at with that. And then I want to get some more playlist items because whatever you're listening to, watching, it's working, my friend.
Yeah. I going on that idea of like you just gotta do you. Like my one housemate and I, he was talking about how he's like I haven't eaten anything today. It's like he's been up for a while. It's like we've been drinking. Like I ate a little bit, like ate maybe a small meal, another small meal. Seems like eggs and toast, just like easy enough. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But there's definitely like, cool. We can just like crack another, like crack this beer, like have that drink, like get a little high. And there's just like this moment where like he was like, I'm not like, should I be worried about myself? Like, I'm like thinking I should. I'm like, dude, we just lost our job. We're all gonna process a certain way. We're now at the point where like hurry up and wait for life, it feels like. Because we all are in this industry. I shouldn't say that, but probably all of us, one of the benefits of working in this industry is a day goes by like that. Like when you're in it, like you're not only just in flow state because it's probably something you love, but when you're busy and like you are great, like I'm grateful to have worked in a number of places that are just like silly busy, or like we bring down the staff to a point where like, okay, we gotta always be working, otherwise It's like, it's not going to get done. Like, this isn't going to get clean. This isn't going to get prepped. Like, there's no one going to be talking to our guests. So it was definitely like, it's going to be challenging for us in the next couple of weeks. I mean, we've got at least 4 more. Of like figuring out how to occupy ourselves, which, that's the moment to, keep doing what's you've been doing, whether it works or not. And just like kind of just start observing, like be observant of yourself, be vigilant about what's going on, because I think that there's some truth in this. Like, yeah, let off some steam. Maybe it's yelling. Maybe it's just like fucking like tackling your roommate, or like chasing the dog around, or just running through the park like a nutcase. I recommend 8 o'clock howl at the fucking moon.
Yeah.
Join Denver. Join the healthcare workers. Everyone just get out and fucking yell. It can be a howl. It can be a yell. It doesn't matter. Barbaric yell. Just do something at 8 o'clock, connect with your community, and release, because you'll sleep better, even if it means you're going to be up for another hour or 7 afterwards. Just do that. That's like the first thing I would suggest. And then past that, it's just, you can improve yourself, or try to do that, but like, don't go hard. If you try and go full speed into anything new, any change, like, I'm just gonna lose weight, I'm gonna be running around all the time now that it's getting summer, like, your body's gonna hate you. Your mind will like you for a bit, but then it's like, take it slow, but go all in on this idea of like broad spectrum, like, whether it be like outside coming in, or just like figure out like, you know what, I'm gonna do this today, even though my routine says I should be having coffee. I'm like, maybe I'm just gonna have like a slice of cake, or like, I don't know. The other day I had 3 cookies in the morning, which isn't like a huge change from my normal thing, like depending on the day. But at the same time, like, I made all these cookies for the housemates, and then came downstairs as I woke up. I'm like, I'm gonna have a cup of coffee. I'm gonna eat these 3 cookies for first breakfast, and then I'll have I don't know, some more adult, smart, healthy meal of like eggs and potatoes with which is more of a Mick meal, I guess. But just like have like a more balanced meal, I should say, like afterwards, rather than just having like baked goods. But you just go with what's speaking to you right now, because we're all just gonna be high strung. Like, find something to comfort you. I had mac and cheese for the first time the first week. This how it happened, and it was like, this is fucking awesome. I forgot.
No wonder everybody loves this stuff.
Yeah, it was like, oh, like, what if we put? Oh, I had smoked trout from Stowaway that we're like, well, we're gonna stop doing the duck and trout dish. I'm like, can I have? And put some of that in the mac and cheese. Like, why don't we do this? And then I was like, oh wait, that's either like a little bit of the stoned brain set, or also just like, oh no, these are flavors, creamy, like starchy, and then you've got like this protein and smoke. I'm like, what?
Yes.
So I've just been in
the chef and stoner brain coexist quite often. There's no doubt about that.
There's a good subconscious creative mindset that's like peeking out, like the child, like the inner child, like that child heart that we all have. It's just like, hey, remember when I used to do this? Grab that. It's like, what if you did that? Like, I had 2 cookies and ice cream. I'm like, what if I put the ice cream in? I made my own sandwich. Why have I never thought about that? Oh, I just never had the time. You're always thinking about the next step. Even when I try and be present, it's like I almost got too present. So it's like, just know that you're going to be up and down with this, but like, just fucking stay along for the ride.
Fucking A, mic drop, man. You had multiple mic drops during this thing. That was really great. All right, you already mentioned playing video games and Webtoon. What are a couple of games, or what are a couple of things that are on your playlist that are helping you decompress or re-energize? What are those things? You mentioned Picard.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, Star Trek Picard. If anyone's a Trekkie out there, that series is fucking awesome. Check that out. I mean, there's no way I'm gonna go through any food shows now. I'm just like, this is gonna be too much. I'm just gonna, like, I know I'm gonna go in a rabbit hole. I say that now, but it's week 4 that we've entered, so
Yeah.
we've got some time. I've basically there was one of those dumbass like game ads that come through like Facebook. I just like clicked on it. And it was like, well, this is actually kind of fun. 2 weeks later, I'm like, I'm really invested in this, and I'm apparently a general on this team. Like, it was great because it didn't show any notifications from Facebook or Instagram when I played it. So I was like, if I'm gonna be on my fucking phone, I'm gonna avoid that. I'll tap in when I want to, but like, I guess that's another thing for what we just finished talking about. Like, get on, like, check in with your friends, but also check out from your friends sometimes.
Good point.
The social media thing, it's like that's a double-edged sword, and it can go just not good for the brain.
What's the game you're playing?
Yes. And then like, was it the webtoon? Webtoon was the fucking thing that has been just absolutely amazing. I'm like, how do people, like, they are like this creative with a storyline? They've got just amazing artwork, and then you look at like their following, and just like people like, I just spent money on a webtoon because I can't wait 7 days for like it to be released. Which
they got you, man.
It's like, and I get it. Like, it's like 50 cents for that episode, but at the same time, you're like, yep, I don't care. Gonna do that. That's been super fun.
What's the video game that you're playing that you found through Facebook? What's that game called?
Heroes War.
Hero War.
Hero Wars. That's what it is.
Hero Wars. All right.
Yeah, there's been a number of times that the roommates are like, I just see like this, like just it's like, see this, like, how you doing? Like, doing great, or just like, how you doing? Like, but I think that's one of the reasons why, like, we got a Nintendo Switch and like Xbox and stuff downstairs and an entertainment system, and like we'll all kind of like, you'll see like 3 of us kind of cycle through that.
Yeah.
One of the new ones that's gonna be fun to play is was it Astral Legion? Yeah, Astral Legion. You take the 2 controllers from Nintendo Switch, and then you play as like basically the same character. Like, you're like the one person's like minion thing that goes out and like attacks and whatnot. But like, you have to do the controls, which normally are for one person, as 2 different people.
Gotcha.
And that's a way that I guess I would say that fellow line cook roommate and I are like, yeah, we have to work together on this. So like, communication will be good. You don't have to say kind, because we see that, but like, just like coming out on your left, like, hi, like, we're circling around.
It's that 30 seconds to the window.
Yeah, it's like, how long before you get that enemy down? 30 seconds, chef. Like, God.
Drop on table 12. Oh, man. Maxwell, I knew this was going to be a great conversation. I'm excited that we made it happen. Appreciate the energy, the positivity, the realness of what's going on. It's going to be a lot of up and down, and as long as you're aware of it and doing you, I think you and all of us will be just fine. We are going to figure shit out. So thank you so much, man, for being on the show. Let's keep checking in with each other. I like where your head's at.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Be good. Have a great day.
Have a good day.
You're welcome. That guy, his energy is through the roof, all over the place. I'm really appreciative of the sincerity, the authenticity, the realness, where it's like, look, I'm going to do yoga, I'm going to ride my bike, and then I'm going to get entirely too high and play video games. And all of those things are true. All of those things are real. All of those things have a place in balance, and we kind of move in and out of understanding how to manage that and all of that. It's just what's real. So I appreciate that. I love having that type of conversation. And that guy is not just a cook. Don't ever think of yourself as just a cook, just a dishwasher. You are an unsung hospitality hero. That is truly, literally, Maxwell is why I started the Best Served podcast, because I want people to meet and be introduced to everybody across the industry, because they truly fucking matter. Like, at every level. So I want people to know that. And to be able to have Maxwell spit for 30 minutes is an honor and a pleasure to have this platform. So check back in about 15 minutes. I'm going to have another one of our unsung hospitality heroes, Edelyn Garcia, on the show. She is the exec sous at the Village Pub in Woodside, California. We're going to talk a little bit. And then tomorrow, got a couple great episodes. Carla Magna, who's the chef owner of Magna Cucina in Portland, Oregon, is going to be on at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. And then we got the team, Steve and Jamie from the Storm Cellar out in Hotchkiss, Colorado, as well as Sam from Denver, Jeremy Holloway, who actually introduced originally us in his episode to the Storm Cellar. We're going to be talking wine and tasting wine and probably some food pairing ideas coming up. So check into that tomorrow. But come back in about 15 minutes. We'll be talking to Edelyn Garcia. Have a good one. Make kindness the norm. That was a great shirt.